Digit is the name of our robot.
So I have one obvious question at first. Actually, two. Why legs at all? Because a lot of robots maybe roll. And then why those legs?
Okay, so.
A lot of people want to work with robots. That's probably maybe a good start for you?
Yes, I like that start.
So you've been on this job an entire 4 months.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. You've had a long, successful career, Qualcomm, Microsoft, Magic Leap most recently at CEO. I want to talk about that, but maybe that's over drinks or something. Why agility right now as your next CEO role?
You know, it's a great question. Right now, humanoid robots are having a moment, for sure. And I've always been fascinated with robotics my whole career. My first boss had done his PhD in robotics years ago. And they're finally having this moment. And when I looked across the field of players, agility to me stood far and ahead of the others. It had a working autonomous robot that was getting ready to take actual work in factories. And since that point, we actually have done that.
So I think we'll get into some of that.
Yeah.
But did you have a treat for us?
I do. If you'd allow me, I'd love you to let me welcome Digit to the stage. Digit is the name of our robot.
So I have one obvious question at first. Actually, two. Why legs at all? Because a lot of robots maybe roll. And then why those legs?
Okay, so you notice they're going the other way. So we have to go where humans go. That's what we were designed for, the small spaces, Digit's waving hello to everyone. The small spaces that humans operate in. So humans, if you go into some of these big warehouses, humans can only reach so high. It had to reach that high, and they can reach so low. It had to reach that low. Turns out, knees get in the way of picking up heavy things from the ground. So we put the legs going the other way. They don't get in the way.
Do you call those reverse knees, or are they just knees?
Some people call them bird legs. I just like to say they're Digit's legs, and they're what works best in that situation.
I think we need audience over there to wave hello as well.
Yeah, Digit, don't be shy. You have to wave to them.
So this was,
Yeah,
okay.
Now he's a ham. Now we can't get him off the stage.
I'm waiting for him to take one of my tasks. And,
yes.
So obviously this is a brief little fun demo, but Digit is actually in workplaces right now.
Yes.
Correct?
So as of a few weeks ago, Digit is at GXO Logistics. They're a third-party logistics, a big one outside of Atlanta. Digit is taking tasks online and doing them versus humans doing some of these dull, repetitive tasks. Actually, Mary Daly was talking about it. We want to augment humans, allow them to be freed up to do other things, and it'll take the very repetitive things that are part of the everyday job off of the human's plate so they could be more productive in other areas.
Are we going to see, I think maybe we have a clip we can show? We have
a clip we can show where we're operating right now. If we can run that video. So GXO actually moves Spanx, women's wear. And they have these huge automated warehouses, and then there's still a human moving things from a conveyor belt to a cart, or from a cart to a put wall. And it's those points. This actually is in an Amazon facility.
A real Amazon facility.
A real Amazon facility.
Okay.
And so amidst these islands of automation, this is sometimes the Achilles heel, because there needs to be a human in there, and they're hard to find. There's about 1.1 million open jobs in the material moving space in the US today alone, and they can't be filled. Nobody wants these jobs. They're doubling. It's doubled in the last 5 years because we all want next day delivery, and if you want your Spanx the next day, you want Digit in there delivering them.
So we have a lot to talk about, but I'm sure the audience will have a bunch of questions. So I'm hoping to get to a few of you. So start thinking about what you want to know from Peggy, or maybe from, well, goodbye Digit, but maybe from Digit as well. So a lot of questions. There's a lot of money going into the space right now, a lot of noise. Like you said, you have a real live commercial relationship with GXO. You're in Spanx facility. You're also in an Amazon facility. I've covered Amazon a long time. Some of the automation reduces repetitive tasks, but they've also had situations where it then speeds up the work, and there's some safety concerns as well. So I'm curious, like when you're going into these facilities, what the goals are and how much you prioritize safety along the way.
Safety, 100%, 100%. This company was built on a safety foundation. So from the software to the hardware to how it moves and how it's programmed, you are operating in an environment with other people. Right now, we still operate inside of a work cell. Okay. But we're headed toward.
And that means no humans within are able to
right, unless we're powered down.
Okay.
Because they're 140 pounds, there's a lot of torque, and so you have to be careful about that. However, we're on a path to what's called functional safety. So in the next 18 months or so, we'll be able to incorporate all of the things that are needed in order to be able to interoperate near humans.
Can you talk about sort of some of the stats about what the robot can do in terms of weight that Digit can lift, battery cycle? Obviously, like this is a cost issue, right, for a lot of these employers. And so I'm curious all the metrics that go into them figuring out whether they can save money by using Digit or many digits.
Yes, and right now we're looking at under a 2-year ROI versus a human at a fully loaded $30 per hour. So that's the benchmark that we're focused at. You're right about power. You need to be operating. We operate for hours, but we recharge ourselves. Right now, we're at about a 2-to-1 ratio. So
what does that mean exactly?
So 2 hours or units of operating time versus 1 unit of charging.
Okay.
But moving to a 4-to-1 and then moving higher up in our next gen to 8 to 10-to-1. So that's the trajectory we're on there. We can lift, right now between our current gen and next gen, we're moving from about 30 pounds to about 50 pounds. But you have this OSHA limit already in place for humans, so that's the bar we have to meet there, and we'll do that.
Which is the 50?
50 pounds,
yep.
Yeah. But if you think about 50 pounds, lifting something over and over and over again, that's the problem. That's where the injuries come in, that's where the quitting comes in, the turnover, there's, in these warehouses, turnover's super high.
Yep. So I will call on, if anyone has a question, please raise your hand and I'll get to you. Okay, we'll go to one now and then we'll come back. Please just tell us your name. Yep, oh, you need a mic, don't you? Coming up right behind you. Just tell us who you are and what company you're with, please.
Hi, Peggy. Hi. Ken Washington. I'm the CTO at Medtronic. And I've known your company for a long time, from my days at Ford Motor Company and also at Amazon. And in both of those examples in my past, the Digit experience has changed a lot. But what I haven't seen yet is an integration of Digit with other automation platforms. Is that something that you're thinking about, how to create an API so that other parts of your automated ecosystem can communicate with Digit and vice versa, so that they create a system and work together in an optimized way to improve workflow?
Absolutely. So we have developed a software platform called ARC. It has all the APIs to plug into the warehouse management systems that are existing in facilities today. So we've integrated already with Manhattan and several others. So we can step into the existing workflow. We don't want to have the operator change the infrastructure, change anything about the workflow. We just step right in, plug into their management or their warehouse management systems, and we've also integrated with quite a few other robots, whether they're autonomous mobile robot carts or put walls or conveyor belts. And so we've got it on both ends where that human goes, Digit walks in, and we're connected on either side.
How far along are you in that journey? Like, how confident are you that you can walk into a new customer's facility and whatever the automation is, Digit can currently work within that, or is that a work in progress?
Very confident. The good thing is we have a team of people who started and built robotics companies on my leadership team, and they brought that sensibility, the safety, the regulatory, the compliance, the fact that you have to step into an existing workflow. All of that is beyond just getting the robot to walk, right? You have to enter the corporate IT infrastructure and make it work for them. You don't want to make them change things. So we have a good sense of that from the leadership team that the folks before I arrived had built.
Let's talk about the technology a little bit, and I'll get to another question if we have right after this. How is Digit doing what it just did on stage, and then how is it learning and/or deciding how to work inside these active facilities that it's in right now?
Right. So how it's doing it is the company's 10 years old. It came out of Oregon State University with their Robotics Institute there. We have still a big tech force there and also a factory nearby that we have built to take advantage of the location. But Digit has been, 10 years in the making. This is highly complex, a highly complex physics project. The dynamics of locomotion are terribly complex. The team solved that part of it. Now, when the world changed, November 30th, 2022, with ChatGPT, we can start to introduce that to help with the semantic intelligence. Now, we have been using reinforcement learning for several years on the locomotion to refine the locomotion so that Digit can walk over uneasy places. It can go up and down stairs, and that's what makes it very different from, say, a wheeled robot. It can traverse those things. So that part's been great. Reinforcement learning helps that, but the semantic intelligence with ChatGPT is just amazing. It's the embodiment of AI.
Can you give the audience an example of how that might work?
Yeah, so now we have the ability to direct Digit. So the other day, we threw a bunch of trash on the floor, different kinds of trash, and we put all the bins behind Digit. So, recycle, landfill. And we said, just gave it one command, Digit, clean up this trash. And Digit scans the room, picks up the paper, puts it in the recycle, picks up some cardboard, does the same thing, goes and picks up some bubble wrap and puts it in the trash. And we all went, ugh, mistake. But turns out bubble wrap is not recyclable. So Digit, with the power of ChatGPT underneath, was able to make that decision. So now we don't have to code all of that. We can just, with ChatGPT and other LLMs, we have the ability to just give Digit a direction. So Digit can do one thing in the morning for a company and a different thing in the afternoon.
Do we have any other audience questions? Otherwise, I'll keep going because I love talking. All right, I'm going to start. Actually, sorry, we're going to start there. I faked you out. Yeah, right there. Please tell us who you are.
Yeah, Sterling Audi with Barclays. So the example that you showed is a single unit in a single unit use case, but I guess we can all envision armies of these being throughout the warehouse. So have you already kind of developed the management platform and ability to kind of have a control plane across a larger number of units?
That's exactly what ARC is. So what we're finding is the employees who used to do maybe all of that physical work are becoming the managers of the robots. So they're along the way getting to be upskilled with the use of our ARC platform. They're the ones who are managing the fleet, and it doesn't have to be just Digits, right? We're connecting to AMRs and other things, so they can look at the fleet of automation and manage that from there. They have a digital...
AMR, just for folks who...
Oh, sorry, autonomous mobile robots. So they're the carts that you'll see going back and forth in the warehouse facilities.
Got it.
Yeah.
That answer a question for you?
Cool.
Okay. I'll come to you right now. Yeah. No, you can go ahead.
Cody Cerny with Insignium. Peggy, great to see you
Hi,
again.
Cody.
Is there anything that's keeping you up at night or any worries you have about the development of these robots and the implementation?
Well, the biggest thing keeping me up at night right now is I just got off the phone with my commercial officer, and We are just getting ready to produce our next gen in the fall. It's already developed, and we have this factory up and running. We've got a lineup.
Why don't you tell people, I missed that one. You have your own factory.
We built a factory outside of Oregon State, and we have the ability to ramp up to 10,000 units a year because we saw that demand and we didn't want to miss it as it was coming in. But right now we have handfuls of robots, and we have a lot of interest from automotive companies, retail, grocers, across the board, anybody who's running these kind of facilities. And anyway, we're struggling to figure out where they go next until the fall, and we'll be able to open it up.
Because the fall is when you'll start
making our next gen.
Your next gen.
Yeah.
How many do you think you can produce next year versus that 10,000 capacity?
Next year we're hundreds, and the year after thousands. So that's sort of the ramp that we're looking at. The good thing is the factory is in the U.S. My engineers are nearby. I don't have to put them on planes anywhere, and it is. We're capable of ramping up. It's not CapEx heavy. It's largely assembly, test, repair, that kind of thing. So we can ramp up pretty quickly. If I need a second one, I could get one up and running fairly quickly.
Funding-wise, raised hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
About 180 million, not too much above that.
Okay.
So far.
Okay. How much is that a constraint on building out this vision that you see for many different types of workplaces? Yeah,
so the next, we are raising now. We're in our Series C right now, and that'll take us out the next couple of years until we hit that 10,000 unit. But the good thing is, because we're deployed already, we are getting the very first robot as a service contract, multi-year contract for humanoids. So we're getting a monthly revenue already on those units, and units that we put on after that, we'll have that incoming monthly revenue.
Do you know what the discussion is that employers that you're testing with or putting these robots into their facilities, what they're having with their employees? Because I know what we've talked about, taking tasks, not jobs.
Yeah.
But Amazon, for example, second largest private sector employer in the US, 1.5 million jobs. I've talked to hundreds of these employees over the years. A lot of them see robots and they're concerned. So what is the message there that is believable?
Well, that's believable. I think it's reality. There is 1.1 million unfilled jobs. They can't find people to do that. So what does that do? It taxes the people who are there even more. And they're ending up doing this repetitive work for longer parts of their day, when maybe it used to be a 2-hour job. They're doing it for 4 or 6 hours. And if you see in the video, it's literally moving a plastic bin from here to there. It's mind-numbing. And so it's not that people are seeking those jobs. They just can't fill them. And it's a retiring workforce.
Yep.
They can't refill. So they have a real problem. So far, everything that all of our interactions have been very positive, because it does give you the opportunity to upskill that worker and put them into a higher productive
We'll come back in 5 years and talk some more. I'm getting evil eyes. We're out of time. Thank you so much, Peggy.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.